got a good feeling about this one. I think someone in New Orleans is going to win the whole thing. All right, let's talk about what's going on with the tropics here. We still have Tropical Storm Umberto, but it's really not a concern for us, so we're not going to spend any time discussing it. What we will discuss, though, is this Gulf moisture that, like so many storms earlier this season, has passed over the Yucatan and is now in the Bay of Campeche. Now, if we zoom in, it's hard to see a center, but it is kind of right down here, a little bit of rotation around that center point. The question everyone's wondering is, how is this going to develop over the next couple of days? Well, let me start with this. A look at what the spaghetti plots do show, and you'll notice they're kind of all over the place. Look at this. We have one of them that has it going down here to the south, multiple models that have it running into Mexico, a few that have it going off to the north, and others that have it tracking over there to the east. So, which one do I think is right? Well, I'll tell you this. I think it's too early to decide which one is actually going to happen because the system hasn't gained any strength yet. I know it's kind of a cheap answer, but it's the truth. When the system hasn't developed and become what it's going to be, it's really tough for these models to show any sort of accuracy after about this point right here. So I think they're going to travel up to the north, and then at that point, we're going to know a whole lot more. That is going to happen late this weekend into early next week. Take a look at what the tropical version of Precision Cast does. Has it rotating right here, maybe gaining a little bit of strength. Just like all the models say, moving slowly in this direction, and then once it gets to that point, that's the question time. Now, here's what could happen. The cold front that's coming down this weekend could pull that moisture off to the north. What else could happen? Well, we could see that moisture continuing to track right off into Mexico. That's what some models said. What we may also see happen is another little area of low pressure develop. That would help keep this thing right down there in place. And then as another weaker front starts to develop, it could pull that up into southern Texas. And that's what Precision Cast is showing. So I said a whole lot of different things that could happen, and the reality is all of them could happen. We'll know a whole lot more once we get into the early days next week, Monday or Tuesday. We'll see how strong the system is, and we'll see what effects that cold front had on it. All right, let's talk about what's going on with the rain out there right now. We are watching some showers down along the coast near Plaquemines Parish. You can see some periods of heavy rain, and there are some lighter showers that are passing through. Even Metro New Orleans right now. I was just outside the French Quarter, and we saw a few light raindrops. Now, some of that rain did impact folks on the West Bank, but you see how quickly those showers pass, so it didn't last that long at all, but they are moving towards Harahan and River Ridge. And then folks on the North Shore, take a look at what's going on. We did see a little bit of activity towards areas of northern Washington Parish. Bogalusa saw about a half hour, some pretty heavy rain, but again, that cell is kicking out of here. So tonight, about a 20% chance for those showers and storms as temperatures drop down into the upper 70s for areas south of the lake, mid 70s north of the lake. Then a 30% chance of rain tomorrow. Tomorrow looks a lot like today. We will see some spotty thunderstorms, and some of that rain is going to be heavy with temperatures in the 80s. And don't forget about this. Tonight is the harvest moon. It is the name given to the moon closest to the autumnal equinox there. It's a harvest moon. It's kind of one of the more famous ones because it lasts just a little bit longer, so it gives a little bit of that extra light, and that was actually very helpful years ago for farmers to get a little bit of extra work done because they had a little bit of that extra sunlight. So let's break down the 7-day forecast for you. We're going to show you the whole thing, but then I want to kind of pinpoint 2 different days. Notice all of it first, and you'll see about a 30% chance for showers Friday going up to 50%, or sorry, Thursday going up to 50% on Friday. So let's break down Friday here because there is a lot of stuff going on for Friday, and you can see the biggest threat for that rain does exist as we move through the afternoon and evening hours. So Friday night football looks a little bit wet. 50% chance of rain there. By 9 o'clock drops down to 30%, and then by midnight 20. And then of course Saturday, well, what's going on there with the LSU game? So let's break down Saturday's 70% chance of rain, and you can see for Saturday it's going to be pretty high all day. Starting very early in the morning, by 9 o'clock, there's already a 60% chance of rain. Now, the front is coming through on Saturday throughout the day, but we'll see a lot of that real heavy rain right by 3 o'clock. You can see that's when it gets up to about 80%. The front will exit the area later that night, and by midnight, it drops down to 40%. You'll see 20% on Sunday. That may just be early in the day. The second half of Sunday could be pleasant. Same with Monday and Tuesday.